Welcome, everybody, to the very first Moon Boys podcast. I'm your host, Billy Blockchain, and I am joined here by two very special people. We have the CEO and founder of Lux Fiat, John Chavez, as well as Travis Kellogg, the founder and creator of MetaFest 2022, our sponsor. So, welcome back, Travis. Welcome back to Lux Fiat. We're excited to have you. What's going on?
Hey, not much, not much. Getting ready for the event. Kicks off at midnight tonight, running until midnight tomorrow. So, really excited about everything. This has been months of planning and hard work, putting in 50, 60, 70 hours a week for the last couple of months on it. It's been huge learning experience, and really kind of prepared me to do future events. So I really say thank you to you all for one tuning in to the for the. I wanted to say thank you to the audience for tuning in, and thank you to you guys for participating. And you help.
Yeah, and I mean, it is a very valuable opportunity for us to have been able to sponsor, or for you to be able to sponsor us and to be able to provide the opportunity for us. And obviously, the gratefulness and the appreciation goes both ways. And we appreciate you for all that you've done for us. And yeah, I mean, John, if you had anything to add on that,
Yeah, I
go
mean,
ahead.
I have a lot. I mean, I just want to first say that this was a huge opportunity working with Travis. Really grateful for it. When we first got in contact, I instantly saw his vision and where things were heading at. So I was thinking long term. Having a value relationship there. Just because we do carry some of those similarities in the space. So just seeing how passionate and what he was doing was a massive thing that was coming in, was something that I was like, we have to be, involved with Travis and work with him because I really believe in the vision. And he's a hard worker. I've seen him, like he said, put in hours of work. I sometimes go in through there in the spaces and I see the telegrams and I'm like, man, I don't know how Travis does it. Like this guy's like community driven. Like he's there like literally almost 24/7. I'm like, this guy has a commitment. And I analyzed that from the beginning, as soon as I started when he reached out, we started talking. I instantly saw that, and that's what really gravitated me the most is the way he handles himself and the way he carries himself, and he's able to go ahead and be a real leader in the community. So that's what to me. I just wanted to say that it's an honor working with Travis, and I definitely do see future stuff working together. Like you said, it's been a huge learning process for everybody, and it's great, seeing each other grow. Like we literally seen MetaFest to where it's at now and what it's doing. And the same thing with us. We've all worked together, and that's what I'm really excited for is the growth process that we get to see with each other.
Yeah, and that was that was much more than I could have said and way better put together than I could have put together. Everything John just said, Travis, I 100% agree with. All right, sorry guys, technical difficulties, internet went out.
It's
It's
all right.
how these things go.
Kyle
We're
got
back.
rugged.
We got rugged. It's all right. It happens in this space. You can't avoid it. But anyways, where I was going with it was, we're in a very hard time right now. We have Russia attacking Ukraine. We have Biden banning oil, which is a good thing in the grand scheme of things in terms of, getting Russia to kind of feel the pain and whatnot. But obviously bad for Americans feeling the pain on the gas prices. It just depends on how you look at it. But we are in a very hard time, and I just wanted to kind of get your guys' opinions because, I mean, it sucks hearing about it every day. I walk downstairs and it's like civilians are dead, people dying here and there, and it's like, it's so sad. It's all just kind of unnecessary in my mind, at least.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'll preface everything by saying that we definitely stand in solidarity with the people of Ukraine, and it's heartbreaking to see what's going on. Being from Birmingham, I do know about oppression and so on and so forth, and feeling as though you're living under a dictator's thumb, and there's nothing that you can do about it. Being one person. That being said, anything that I can do to help out, I'll definitely do. I don't know exactly what I can do other than donate at this point in time, but I'm willing to do anything I can to help out. You never want to see people be mistreated.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's the big thing right now. John, what were your thoughts on that? I mean,
Man, it's crazy. It's a whole shit show, to be honest. Excuse my language, but not really. It's There's a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world, and I think this is a time of the world, time and place for all of us to be united and to stand by each other, regardless of race, ethnicity, religion. I think most importantly is being there for one another. We are all human beings. So, with that being said, it sucks standing here as a bystander, not really being able to do much, and unfortunately, we capitalize off of this. The markets do wonderful during these times. Whether it's war, um, fears of a virus, whatever the case is, the black swan event. The markets love this. Stock market goes up, crypto goes up. It's a huge opportunity, but it's a misfortune that you get to go ahead. Me as a trader being able to capitalize off the fear of what's going on in the world. It's pretty like it just sucks. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. It sucks being here on the other side where we're capitalizing off the fear of what's going on, and it causes wars and blood. And regardless of the military, the people are just doing whatever they're told to do. So a lot of these people in the military, whether it's the Ukraine military, the Russian military, no one wants war. No one wants to go ahead and have death. At the end of the day, we're all human beings, and I think it just sucks with the whole entire thing going on. But it's super bullish for the market, but it sucks. It's opportunity. It gets to me sometimes just seeing this. It's really hard. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's really hard being able to live in such a world, knowing about so much and not being able to do anything because of the people that are in control and the greed. It all comes down to politics. What Russia is doing is obviously to go ahead and gain more control. The U.S. is just as guilty as this. I don't say the U.S. funded the war, and the U.S. benefits out of this because now they get to taxes on inflation. I think the U.S. could have easily prevented it and could have said something. Obviously, not get us in war either, but everybody is going to benefit out of it, except for the people in Ukraine, the people in Russia, and us, the citizens of the countries. We're the ones that are going to get hit while the big politics make the money. So for me, it sucks being able to see this. And this is the reason why I always preach we should be there for one another, regardless of race, color, and belief. This is a time where we should be united because the politicians are united, and that's what they cause, and that's how they benefit from another. So that's what I preach is, if you guys have a neighbor, if you guys have a friend, I always make sure every time I go out in public, say hi to people. How are you doing? How's your day going? Because you don't know what that person's going through. And this is a time where the governments want to keep us separated. So the only way to go ahead and work together and fight through this is by being united. We saw that with GameStop. We saw that with AMC. It all came back as a community, being there for one another, regardless of the differences that we have. So,
yeah.
guys, I do recommend if any of you guys do, come across anybody, regardless of, like I said, race, color, religion, always go ahead and ask, hi, say hi, how's your day going? Because you can make someone's day just by saying something so simple.
Yeah, and I think that's a very simple thing that a lot of people kind of fail to realize, I guess, is honestly just saying hi to somebody can make somebody's day. Like I don't know about you, Travis, but I know I'm a very anxious person. I deal with ADHD. It's very hard for me to focus, and just saying hi to somebody is very hard for me because I go through a lot of these different scenarios that could happen, and it's so that in itself is hard for me. But when I do it, I do feel better about myself. And on the other side, again, you don't know what people are going through. You just saying hi to them could have been the highlight of their day. Like you really don't know. And I mean, Travis, do you have any anecdotal evidence of that? Like something you could say on top of that?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a firm believer in one interaction can change somebody's entire life.
Yeah.
So being nice and just pleasant to people can make a huge difference. You never know if that person, if the interaction with you could have been either the thing that pushed them over the edge or the thing that brought them back from the ledge. So what I try to do is just be as nice and cordial to everybody, treat people the way that I myself want to be treated and respected. One thing that I've paid a lot of attention to is the fact that it's hard for people to speak and communicate with one another in public, in person, because we're all so busy and so tapped into what's going on either on our phones or on our computers and in the virtual world, where we don't even get a chance to step outside to see people in real life. I've always said that what we're living in now is Web 3, and Web 4 is going to be people just going back outside.
Yeah, I mean, with AR, augmented reality.
Web 4 is people just going back outside. But one thing I'll say in regard to that, if you think about it, the last 50 years of human existence have seen more technological advancement. Well, let's say 60 to 70 years, right? We'll say the last 60 to 70 years have seen more technological advancement than the previous 7 to 800 years. You
Yeah.
take somebody from 12 or 1300 AD and you drop them off in 1650, and they won't have that much of a problem adjusting, right? Now, you take somebody from 1985 and drop them off in 2022, and they'll have a freaking panic attack because there's so much going on. You know, we've gone from driving cars and that being it, right? Well, let's take the last 150 years. We've gone from riding horses to putting somebody on the moon and being able to send communication from California to Eastern Ukraine.
Yeah, and not to mention putting a literal Dogecoin on the moon soon.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. So I mean, that kind of advancement is faster than we've evolved biologically. So it takes our brains a while to catch up with the technology. So that's where you kind of see people having so many disorders as far as it comes to social anxiety and
Yep.
everything, like, because your brain's being hardwired. Not only that, but some of these companies actually have whole departments that specialize in finding ways to keep you tied into Web3.
Exactly. That's crazy. Man.
Yeah.
That's crazy what you said, man. That's mind blowing.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, dude. Like, there's a lot of things that we just, we can't help but do, like what I said, I have social anxiety, ADHD, and it's so hard for me to just even get focused. And I texted John today a big paragraph about, like, it's just getting to me now. Like, I feel it actually, like, ramping up, and I feel it's because crypto moves so quick. Like, I feel like in the year or a year and a half I've been in crypto, I feel like I've seen 5,000 different, like, editions of the crypto market, So it's like, I feel like I always have to be on point. And for somebody who has trouble focusing already, it's like, okay, where do I go? And so, yeah, that's just a huge thing.
Something crazy?
What's up?
Crazy? Up until August, right? We'll say from 2016, when I probably, first even was interested in crypto at all, up until August of 2021, all I ever did was check my Coinbase probably once every 2 months, right? Everything that's happened from August until now is essentially me coming into Web3.
Yeah. And that's
so
crazy.
That's how fast it moves from August until now. But before August, I just imagine me knowing nothing about crypto other than having an account.
Yeah, no, and I was in the same exact boat. Like, that's exactly how I feel. John can attest for this. I went full into crypto, I think April of last year. Like, I took everything out of AMC.
I was out there pushing you for so long.
Went all into crypto, and from there, I mean, look at what we're doing now. We're talking about MetaFest. Like,
Right.
and I was talking about Crow Coin back in April, like, and now I'm buying like Sriracha Inu, which man, we'll talk about them here too, and
Right.
like getting into these DeFi projects where we're experimenting with certain things. Again, we have just MetaFest itself, which is a big step in Web3. And so it's like so many things are happening in just such a short amount of time. It's so hard to keep up.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, I agree with that. Definitely, you know, I was in crypto back in 2017, back in XRP, and I remember being in Coinbase and the damn coin not moving. Eventually just tanking, and I just pulled out money for whatever reason it was. But I wasn't tapped in like I am today with crypto. Like crypto is just such a big, fast moving space, and I think that's what I love about it. Same with you, Kyle. I have my own problems. I have ADHD. I have dyslexia. I don't know how the hell. Since I asked myself, I don't know how the hell I got to where I am, and I've obtained all the success. But I think it has to do a lot with that.
Yeah.
It's always having the ambition to go ahead and do more, and being a person to connect and network with people, and having that sales background. But to me, I love the way crypto moves. Like I love the volatility. I love the opportunities. I love the mystery of being able to come across a MetaFest like Travis. Like to me that fascinates me a lot. So my background was trading options, so that's what got me into when I got introduced by my mentor, Aaron Jones, which we will have in the podcast very soon as well. He's the kind of the person that pushed me into crypto, and I finally saw the volatility, and that's what I love, and that's how I pushed Kyle into it. And we've both been in the space where we're growing together, and I think the crypto space grows so fast, just like Travis said, with the technology that it's growing so fast that you really can't keep up with any of this. It comes to the point where you're just like you're somewhere else, and just by missing out with it, whether it was a day or a week, you're already behind. You're already behind. So if you're not on it like 24/7, literally, because crypto doesn't sleep, you could be missing out. The next Sriracha Inu, right?
Right.
That project that I was telling him because Travis told me about it. I saw the vision, the opportunity. I jumped in, told people, and people want to jump in what? When it's already 15x. Is there an opportunity? Yes, but this is why this space moves so quick. You have to capture the opportunity, see the vision, and go for it. And people are a little too slow, I would say, in the space. They're like, oh, we'll
A little
just see
too
how the
hesitant.
company does.
I would
What
say
happened?
that it's all at the end of it. It's really all just fear. Money's hard. I know when I first got into it, like even buying a coin, I was like, I'm not necessarily losing this money, but the thought in my head was like, this money's gone. Like it's no longer in my bank account. So that was a very hard barrier for me to pass as someone who honestly didn't have a lot of money to begin with already. So I think for a lot of people who really are investing a lot of what they can't afford, which is something that we do preach on this channel a lot, is make sure you don't invest what you can't afford. Because the only reason we're saying that is because, I mean, we've gotten ourselves into situations and stuff, and we wouldn't preach stuff if we haven't undergone the experience and had some sort of validity to it. Just never put yourself in the situation where you're relying on crypto to go up, because at the end of the day, it's never going to happen when you want it to.
Yeah.
And that's something a lot of people don't realize is they think they're going to buy crypto, it's going to go 15x, 10x, whatever it does, and then they're going to be a millionaire. And it's like, in the reality, you need to be putting 100, 200, 300, $500 into 10 different projects in DeFi and hope one of them
Yeah.
points out. That's the reality of it. And that's with thorough research,
Yeah.
you
And the
know?
reality too, adding to that is one, being early to a project and waiting. It's all a waiting game.
Yeah.
It's a psychology game. It's like you're playing chess. I've never played chess, but I heard there's a
I
strategy
hate
behind it,
chess.
right? But I'm sure Travis, he seems like a chess guy. So
Right.
you could probably tell us a little bit how chess works. But this is literally just waiting and positioning yourself for the opportunity. You have to go ahead and see these projects where people question themselves, see the psychology behind it, see the vision, which is the biggest thing, seeing the vision, seeing the community, and then seeing the opportunity. Once you could go ahead and find that, you could go ahead and strategize yourself, put yourself in a position so when big teams like Sriracha Inu starts coming up with these partnerships and all these big things, you're already making a lot of money, and you could possibly be the next Sheba millionaire. But like you said, Kyle, to go ahead and get to a position like that, you have to take the risk. You have to go ahead and keep that in mind that nothing's guaranteed. Literally everything could go down to zero. The world could end. There's a lot of things that could happen, but I think it does come down back to what you're saying. Always invest in what you're willing to lose. Always do your research, and most importantly, be very patient. It could take anywhere between 6 months to a year to 2 years to go ahead and make a massive move and possibly become a millionaire. But I think the greed of people trying to become instant, millionaires overnight is what causes the panic and the paper hands to get wrecked in the market. And honestly, that's really good for us because we buy the dip.
I like the little point you gave,
Exactly. Exactly. Just to kind of take that one step further, I'll say that greed always makes people easy targets for con men and scammers.
Yep.
Because it's very easy to go to somebody and say, hey, if you give me $500, I'll turn it into $1 million in a month or in a week. And somebody who's greedy will throw common sense out the window without asking how it's going to be done or to even see if it makes sense. So being greedy often turns us, and I'll say us because I'm part of it as well. It turns it easy targets. That's how things like rug pulls happen. And it's easy for them to do because everybody wants to be the first person in so that they can be the first person out.
Yep.
As opposed to looking at something with more of a long-term vision. And it's crazy that I'm saying long-term in regard to crypto because a long-term vision in crypto is 6 months to a year, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Long-term in the stock market is at least 10.
Exactly. Yeah. But you won't see these kind of returns in the stock market in this time frame.
Not like
operating in such a condensed time frame, the same way that you can wake up one morning and be down 40 to 60% on your entire portfolio. You can wake up that next day and be up 7,000%.
Yeah.
And those kind of swings are really, really prevalent in crypto, and I think that's what attracts a lot of people to it, the volatility. But like you said, Kyle, it's important that people take two things into account: never invest in something that you haven't researched, and never invest money that you are not willing to lose.
Yeah, exactly. And it really is just breaking that barrier. And funny enough, I was thinking while John was talking, because we do need a slogan somewhat for this podcast, right? It can't just be the Moon Boys podcast and there's no sort of slogan to it. Let's just make it break the barrier.
There you go.
How do you break that barrier? You watch the Moon Boys podcast. There you go. But I mean, just hold on. Before we continue, I just want to say, guys, be sure to comment, like, subscribe, turn on that notification bell. It really helps us out. It helps us get us out there. And I mean, if we want to break that barrier, we got to get out there. And, MetaFest is going to provide us with a lot of traction, as well as MetaFest doing, wonders on its own with a bunch of big names. So be sure to be there. MetaFest, again, Travis, we're thankful for your sponsor, thankful for giving us a chance. And yeah, just be sure to share this with as many people as you can so we could get this out there. So
Absolutely.
Let's go ahead and continue this podcast. Just got to plug it. Yeah, we got to support each other. We're in on a partnership for a reason. We got to support each other. And I mean, I'm in it. We're all in it just to help each other all win, So that's what it's about. And yeah, again, grateful for the opportunity. Like, I can't say it enough. It's very, 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 I can't think of the words. John will explain it better than I can.
Really, yeah, we're really grateful for Travis. But to go ahead and add to what Travis was talking about regarding greed, I totally agree with him on that. Greed is one of the biggest factors, and it comes back to one of the markets of psychology. Greed is where you actually capitalize on people, just like the scammers or the people with rug pulls, or they capitalize off people greed. And the same thing when you're trading, and I've been a victim myself of greed myself, because you get to a point when you start making money, you just start getting greedy, and I've been to a situation where, where I made massive trades, where I've made insane gains in one day, whether that was options trading or crypto. And,
I've seen it
it was
too.
more, yeah, it was more money than I've ever seen in my life. But then you get to a point where, like, if you have,
Are you comfortable sharing the amount of that AMC contract?
oh yeah, of course.
Go ahead and share that story after
Crazy,
this, bro.
like on AMC, like I remember I made
One
like,
contract.
yeah, one contract I made over 30 grand in like literally in like a day.
Wow.
And he he didn't sell.
Money, yeah, like the most money I've ever seen. And I made multiple plays where I've made like 60, 80 grand in a day, and I was still too greedy. Why? Because I was chasing I'm gonna be a millionaire by the end of like 3 months, 4 months.
Right.
So, like, I wasn't comfortable. I don't know why. Keep in mind, the most I ever worked at a regular job making, in the sales back in my field was around 50 grand a year. And making 30 grand in a day, or, making over 6 figures in a couple plays and still being greedy, got me to fucking literally losing everything and being broke and starting again. So
Yeah.
like I learned greed, and greed is one of those biggest factors where now I understand take profits. As much as I learned the project, as much as I believe in the project, sometimes there's things we cannot control. So like how much I've lost a shitload of money for sure. I've lost a shitload, but it all comes down to I was asking myself, what am I doing wrong? I know how to trade. I know how to recharge. I know how to do TA. What is fucking me up behind? Greed.
Yeah. Not being able to sell.
My goal was I'll go ahead and get, I'll be cool with just one Maserati. I said, fuck the Maserati. I could get a Lamborghini if I'm making 30 grand a day, So like that's where greed comes in, and it all comes in tapping into your inner self and finding your inner self. So spiritual work, guys, whatever you guys believe in, it's necessary. You guys need to go ahead and have some type of spiritual work, because when you go ahead and bring in inner problems of your life, and I think that has to do a lot with, growing up on my end, not having, everything that I've always wanted, and then being able to obtain everything that I've always wanted, and literally in the snap of my fingers, is what got me even more greedy, where I'm like, you know what? I didn't have that, or I couldn't afford that last time, but now I could afford 10 times more if I do a bigger play. Let me just go ahead and go all in, and I think that's where my greed factor came in. But what I had to do is overcome that by, finding myself spiritually, and really cleansing myself inside myself first, mentally and emotionally, and letting go of that. So a lot of it has to do with psychology and your emotions inside as a human being, regardless of past experience in the past, whatever you've been through. So the markets, trading in crypto or just like any business, greed is one of the biggest things, and not being able to analyze yourself mentally and emotionally could take you long ways. So I would say, you guys got to work on your mental health and the psychology, because this game, it's all psychology. When they know that, like with me, they knew on AMC that I wasn't going to be satisfied with the 30 grand. They knew that.
Yeah, because there's a bunch of people who haven't seen that amount of money.
And it goes back to what Travis was saying. A lot of these companies work on psychology of the human brain, so they know when people get that addiction. When you see, oh yeah, that goes back to the casinos.
Casinos have teams like that too.
Yeah, casinos are
dopamine, man.
Yeah. Yep.
Dopamine and serotonin. It's like looking at your phone, right? That's how they hack your brain.
I look at my phone hundreds of times a day.
Exactly. And it's because the serotonin produced in your body when you're looking at your phone, when you're opening it, right? When you're waiting to see if there's something new, is the same amount of serotonin and the same brain activity as somebody at a slot machine pulling that lever and waiting on the wheels to stop. Like there's more serotonin produced while the wheels are spinning than when people win.
Wow.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. It's nuts. That's why gamblers, if you notice people that have an addiction to gambling, they're not gambling to win. They're gambling to gamble more, because when they win, the winnings are put back into it. That's why the phrase is always leave the casino while you're ahead. If you ever in the casino, if you win, they will give you everything for free.
Oh yeah, you'll get room service, you'll get hotels, you'll get everything literally handed to you. And I think that goes back to the psychology of what you're saying, where like for me, where I was making, 30, 60 grand or whatever the case was, it wouldn't play. I said, let me go ahead and put this all in. Fuck it. I'm not taking profits.
Yeah.
It goes back to the casino mentality. So maybe I had some gambling issues. I don't know.
I mean,
I was
the
greedy.
moral of the story though is that you're still here and you're still working towards it. Like you're not perfect. No one's perfect. Travis isn't perfect. I'm not perfect. No one's perfect. You know, you're gonna have points where you don't take profit. I mean, there was an NFT. I mean, let's look at the Six Bulls NFT, right? I took profits on that. You know, I made a good 12 sol from that. Good little trade. I then rebought back in at 6.6 sol, and then now it's down to 4. You know, but it raised to 9.5 before dropping that much. So I could have taken extra profit on top of that. You know, so it's like I kind of screwed myself because I was like, I can make more on this because it hit 9.5, it's going to go more, but now it's down at 4 because I made that decision. I lost some money now, you know, whereas I was up 3 sol.
You have to remain disciplined.
Yep.
That's one thing I learned is discipline, because the person in your head is going to tell you leave it, reinvest it, or keep the play going to see if you can get more, as opposed to saying, hey, let me pull out my initial investment because everything else is house money.
Yeah.
Like that's the practical thing to do. Like that's the smart play. Like take your initial investment out and let the rest of it ride, and whatever you make, it's profit, or if you lose anything, it's profit.
Exactly.
But we don't do that because all we're looking at is what we could potentially make. Right. And I understand that train of thought because I'm an opportunity cost person. Yeah. And let's say I'm at the casino and I'm playing blackjack and I'm playing $10 hands, right? But I've got $50,000 in my pocket. If I win a $10 hand, I'm not looking at it like I won $10. I'm looking at it like if I would have bet 1,000, I would have won 1,000. So I lost 900 plus. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's the psychology behind it. That's exactly the way that it's looked at. But that said, you know, like I said, the name of the game and the word of the day is discipline. And I'm a firm believer now in taking profits and pulling out your initial investment.
Yeah. And I mean, it all goes back to breaking that barrier. Can you overcome all the bullshit that comes with crypto? It's not an easy market. I understand that, but stock market is hard in itself. Forex market hard for its own reasons. The crypto market, on top of its volatility, again, is just moving at 10,000 miles an hour. So it's like, it's even harder to keep track because it's like, okay, I got to keep track of my NFTs now, when a year ago NFTs weren't this big. You know, now I got to keep track of NFTs, and I'm pretty much all in on NFTs in Solana right now. So it's like, you know, NFTs are a huge part of what crypto is now. And I don't think a lot of people saw that. I thought, you know, at least when back in September of last year, I was like, I don't think it'll be this big. I think it'll come and go, you know, and now look where we're at, you know. Yeah. But, you know, that being said, you know, guys, break the barrier. Make sure you're doing everything you can to get over the psychology. They want you to lose because that's how they make money. Obviously, there's a loser to every trade. You're the loser 9 times out of 10. But you need to teach yourself how to be that 1 out of 10. And once you do that, you're already good. And I mean, we're all still learning too. It's very hard and it takes time. So just know that if you're willing to put in the time, you're patient, anything's possible. And
discipline, you know,
discipline is huge. Sticking to your plan.
Yeah, when he said discipline, I could confirm that because when I became very successful in trading, because I've been trading, you know, the stock market for years, but where I really became successful was when I became disciplined. And I was making consistent trades, money after money, where I grew my account from $1,000 up to 50,000 in like 6 months. You know, trading options because I had discipline. You know, I actually had a rule book where I make sure that, okay, this play, I'm going to take this much profits and I'm out after that.
Yeah.
But as soon as I got greedy, when I was like, oh shit, I turned 1,000 into 50,000. Let me go ahead and go all in and break my own. I broke my own discipline and I broke my own rules. I had literally a rule book that I told myself, I'm gonna follow my trades. Once I hit a percentage point, I'm gonna exit, and that's why I grew my account from 1,000 to 50,000 trading options in like literally 6 months with discipline. But when greed kicked in, where we go back to greed and discipline, I let go of my own beliefs and my rules, where I fucked up. And now I have to go ahead and rewire my brain and be like, "Nah, John, you fucked up, dude. You're not the best. Like literally follow your own rules. Go back to your own book of, your discipline and having the patience." So now it's like, you guys, I would say what Travis said, discipline and greed, you guys really need to focus on it. Most
Yeah.
importantly, discipline. With no discipline on anything you guys achieve in the world, whatever business it is, if you guys don't have the discipline to execute, you guys will not have a clear path of where you're going. It goes back to trading. So you guys have to go ahead and take that into consideration. But I just want to leave it at that. That yes, discipline is one of the biggest things. I have confirmation when I was disciplined, and I am now again. But when I was so accurately disciplined, that's what I remember, because I went back to myself. I was like, what made me successful? And I asked myself those questions, and I'm like, I was disciplined during that time. So when I lost the money, I had a better understanding of where I fucked up, and that's what it was. I lost my own discipline, and I went over my own rules, and I ignored them. So always stick to
Yeah.
your plan, exit strategy with a discipline, and always take profit. Do not be greedy,
Yep.
and you guys will be very successful in any business, and especially the crypto market or stock market.
Yeah. And I mean, that being said, I mean, that's pretty much all we can offer right now on that topic. I mean, it's pretty much all psychology. Break the barrier, get through psychology, you'll be fine, you know? And I think a lot of value was just provided between the three of us. And I think just the psychology is so annoying.
Yeah, it's so
But
simple, but
and
yet so
yeah,
hard.
yeah. Anyways, I mean, what better time than to finally bring in MetaFest? Travis, what is going on with MetaFest? It's tomorrow. We're recording this a day before to kind of
Right.
get it ready. But what is going on? I'm so excited for it, dude.
Well, in approximately 9 hours and 39 minutes, we will be having a virtual trade show for Web3 projects. That's crypto, NFT, metaverse, gaming, etc. It's going to be an immersive 3D experience for the exhibitors and attendees. Well, they will be able to go to a virtual um, building, for lack of a better term, and be able to go to virtual booths in order to find out more about these projects. There's virtual auditoriums available. We're having a virtual concert in the metaverse from Southland Soul. We've got a U.S. Senate candidate, Shannon Bray from North Carolina, is going to be speaking. Dale Crypto, who's a huge influencer in the space, is also going to be speaking. We've got Crypto Mom, who's going to be doing a lot of speaking in her own virtual auditorium as well to talk about Bitcoin mining and the crypto market. We've got a few projects lined up that have booths. One of which, like as you all said, Sriracha Inu, one of the sponsors of the show. It's a community-driven deflationary token on the Binance Smart Chain. In my opinion, the best investment vehicle out at the moment. One, because of the price point. Two, because of the passive Ethereum rewards that it offers as a passive dividend. And they have a lot in the pipeline coming out with their own sriracha sauce. They've got a play to earn game that's coming out that's going to be in the Super Smash Brothers style. Um, and a lot of other things that are coming in the very near future, a rewards dashboard calculator on their website, and who knows where it can go from there. That those are just the things that we know about. These things evolve over time. We've also got MILM NFT. Mom is an acronym for Moms I'd Like to Mint. As you can see, I've got the hoodie on
Got
as
a
we
rep.
speak. Exactly.
Got a rep.
And MILM was just mentioned in Rolling Stone
Oh
a few
wow.
weeks ago. So yes, a very female-driven Web3 project. It's NFTs, but they are also releasing an ERC 20 token along to accompany the NFT project that's going to be used on OpenSea as currency to be able to buy and sell NFTs. In addition, MILM is allocating 50% of its mint revenue to a fund created called the Sugar Mama Fund that will support and empower women in Web3. We've got Crazy Rich Coin. Also, it's a $100 million real estate development company out of Singapore. They've got a booth. We've got a Call of Duty tournament going on. Um, and this is breaking news right here. So this is some insider info for those of you that are listening and were
Nice.
disciplined enough to soak this information in. But
There
there's
you go.
another project called Spacex.
Ooh.
This is breaking. They just came on board. Spacex is a Web3 project, another deflationary token on the BSC, on the Binance Smart Chain. It also provides passive rewards in the form of beat. Now, in addition to that, SpaceX is focused on the adult entertainment industry, but focused on the business side of that industry.
Right.
So that alone is a global market, and that's a
Right.
market that never stops.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to see what SpaceX has to offer. I know that in addition to the cryptocurrency, they're also building a gentleman's club in the metaverse.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
so yeah, so this is going to be a gentleman's club slash casino that is going to be crypto focused. So
Wow.
I'm really excited to see about that. We've got Kirk Bangs, who's going to be doing a sneak peek for his Cup Sippers NFT project as well. He is the rapper that has the song "Drink in My Cup." He was going to do his mint at MetaFest, but he decided to push the mint back in order to make sure that all the T's were crossed and I's dotted. And he wants to put out something that he's proud of, which I totally respect. I'm a firm believer in doing something right as opposed to doing it fast. I'm excited to see what he has to do. And actually, he's become a friend. It's pretty cool, to talk to him and to just see how he's evolved within the space, because a lot of celebs simply want to put their name and face on something. And he's actually taken the time to learn Web3, to learn about NFTs, to learn the technical side of it, and the business side of it also. So I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, he's
Going,
a smart guy, man.
oh
Yeah,
yeah,
not a lot of celebrities
Yeah.
take that
I-
effort. Like we
yeah.
tried with Deshaun Jackson, and I mean we're still getting some stuff going with him, hopefully in the future. But I mean it was, and some celebrities just don't really put in that effort. Or they don't really believe in it too much, which isn't on them. I mean it's a very new thing, and
right.
it is very hard to break the barrier, you know. But yeah, like that's awesome. The fact that he's doing that is bigger
Amazing
than
to
any
sit
other
there and
celebrity.
listen to him talk about like sealer bridges and getting things from Binance Smart Chain over to ETH mainnet. Like it's like
It's
he's
awesome.
come so far in such a certain short amount of time. It's amazing.
And
But
I think adding to that too, that's a huge opportunity for Kirko, because not only is it a new space, but knowing this knowledge and having it, now he could expand his business in the crypto side. Like the only rapper that I know that's doing it this big in the crypto is Money Man. You know, this
right,
guy's been in crypto for like ever, and like all his music is all about businesses, LLCs growing. So like I think Money Man is like on like literally on the table right now that he's like the top rapper that makes his money from crypto and not
right,
rapping. You know,
right,
so like I think for Kirko to actually, see the vision and actually enjoy it, he has a massive opportunity, not only as an artist, but as an actual figure of, knowing these things. Like you said, there's a lot of celebrities who just want to go ahead, jump in here, think it's like a quick money grab, which in some cases are. But I think in the long term, if you really see the vision, like what he's learned a lot from you, he's going to be able to use those skill sets and really expand his side to the business, because blockchain has a lot to do with the music industry, believe it
right.
or not. And I'm sure you're familiar, and he's told you, because that's where NFTs and this whole entire thing of actually owning your rights to your arts, that's where it's why even crypto itself or the blockchain is even bigger. So like I think that Kirko himself has a massive he has a massive opportunity working with you. You know what I mean? I think he's learning from the right person, and you're giving them the right guidance. So I think he's really going to be able to expand not only his knowledge, but literally expand his business and be that celebrity or artist in the field right now with crypto to really go ahead and take over and do a lot. And it's
Right.
crazy. I think we need those influencers.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, additionally, I will be giving away a few Oculus Quest 2s. I actually have to go purchase them. I'll probably do it. I won't have time to do it tomorrow because I'll be busy with the show, but I'm going to purchase them and ship them Sunday.
All
If
right.
I can't ship them Sunday, it'll be Monday. But giving away a few Oculus Quest 2s at MetaFest as well. But additionally, and this is also breaking news, I will be doing another event later this year. I have not chosen a name for it yet, but this event will be taking place likely in August. It'll be much more of an extravaganza. Really excited about this next one. Just as excited as I am about this one, but this next one's going to be humongous. This first one is a stepping stone to that. So definitely can't wait to have you guys be a part of that also.
Man, I'm excited. Can you tell us any details about that? A
Well,
little bit at
Well,
least.
it's a long way away, but as much
okay,
as you
Yeah.
can.
let's just say that I'm bringing a luxury clothing brand on board as a
Ooh.
sponsor. So
Nice.
that's all I'll
All right,
say
you
for
heard it
now.
here first on the Moon
Yeah,
Boys podcast. Stay
Right.
tuned for the next Metaverse, MetaFest style event from Travis Kellogg. And wow, that a lot is happening with MetaFest. Like
yeah,
you said, a lot of big names. There's a lot of stuff going on. The tournament, like man, like I believe that you put 60 to 80 hours in, maybe even
yeah.
more every week. Like
Oh, this-
like it's very hard to get as much as you have accomplished done. And I mean, we've only been a part of this for at least a shorter amount of time. A month and a half, 2 months ish coming up, and I mean, even in that time frame to accomplish as much as you have already is just a feat in its own. And I want to congratulate you personally for being able to do that. And I mean, like, I'm just very excited for this event. Like, it's super excited. Congratulations on all the success that will come your way with this show. And yeah, I mean, wow.
Thank you. We are not stopping.
Yeah,
I live by the motto: apply pressure.
there you go.
Apply pressure. Like you beat an opponent into submission. And Sun Tzu said, "Go all the way." In the art of war, you destroy your opponent. But in this case, my opponent is myself.
Yeah,
There you go.
So,
yeah,
so the enemy that I'm defeating is the part of me that says that I can't do this, or it's too hard, or it's too much work, or it takes too much time, or just anything that's planting a seed of negativity, doubt, fear, FUD, whatever you want to call it. I'm completely obliterating it and
yeah.
just stepping out on faith and actually like turning that fear into something that fuels me and fuels what I'm doing. Because if I'm not afraid, then that means that I'm comfortable. And
Yep.
I don't like being too comfortable.
That is
Sure.
literally the formula to success. If you're in your comfort zone, you are not doing enough.
Right.
You need to be again breaking the barrier into more bigger and better things that you're scared to do, but are going to ultimately make you a much better person or way more successful in the future. Sorry, my dogs are barking, but John, you could kind of touch up.
Yeah.
Okay, no, they're done.
I
But
think
go
one of the
ahead.
biggest things what Travis said there, and one thing that I always preach is being comfortable in the uncomfortable. You don't ever want to be in a position when you're feeling comfortable, because when you start feeling comfortable, that's when you get attacked with negativity. And that's where like the little fears happen where something might happen around in your personal life where you get broken down and you let it affect you. So you always want to be putting yourself in positions where you're not comfortable. So eventually you're comfortable dealing with the uncomfortable. And one example with that was I wasn't comfortable doing YouTube videos in a while. It took me so long to get comfortable doing what we're doing now. And I had previous experience running my own YouTube channel back in the day, a few years ago, that did pretty decent. But I was comfortable during that time, but doing it again, I was so uncomfortable, and I got pushed into it that eventually I got comfortable doing it. So now I'm comfortable doing the uncomfortable. So now, even though I'm not comfortable being on camera or speaking to an audience, I became comfortable. But I dealt it with being fearful, but just doing it. So like when you come across fear, you just gotta fucking do it. There's no simple way to cut it out there. And before even going even further than that, I do want to go ahead and like kind of put Travis, on the spot, not really put him on the spot, but I want to bring this to his attention because I remember he mentioned he was working with fuel. That was his previous career. So talking about inflation and gas, I want to kind of tap into like what he sees as he is in that field. So can you tell us a little bit about that, man?
Well, yes, I used to sell fuel wholesale to the Department of Defense. And of course, a couple of years ago, the market crashed. I mean, all the way, if you can believe it, past zero.
Wow.
To the point where suppliers were actually asking me to take fuel for free because the cost of holding it was so expensive. Right. But that said, as far as what's going on now, is really almost a perfect storm of inflation having already hit the United States. Of course, the Keystone Pipeline not being implemented, and now the ban on Russian oil. It really gives, without going into a huge macroeconomic, dissertation about it, it actually gives companies a reason to hike the prices extremely high before they have to. I mean, the fuel that's being sold now that prices are up on it's already been produced. That fuel is already allocated. Now the fuel in a couple of months being high would make more sense simply because of the cost of crude oil now being high.
Right.
Because of the Russian.
That's crazy, man. You literally gave us some confirmation to what I always preach in the channel, guys. I always talk about this, and there's confirmation from Travis, which I never spoke to him about personally, but now that gives us confirmation that whatever we talk about in the channel with regarding oil, inflation, he just confirmed it, without really going into deeply. But one thing I do want to add on to there, I always tell people like the U.S. has plenty of oil, guys. We have plenty of oil. Like there's satellite pictures if you guys really want to look at of how much oil we have. We probably have way too much, like what Travis said. It gets to the point where it gets too expensive to store. So can this be an actual cause that we have too much oil to store that they're like, let's go ahead and get rid of it and probably, push it out the door? Who knows?
Yeah.
There's a lot of factors where the economy makes money out of it. I don't believe any of this BS, but that's confirmation to what Travis just basically said, man. It's crazy.
Well, I'll tell you right now, when the ban on Russian oil was announced, there were champagne bottles popping at these large fuel companies.
I knew it.
Yeah,
man.
No, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's an excuse for them to raise prices astronomically, and because they've raised them astronomically before, they know that fuel doesn't adhere to normal supply and demand and the laws of elasticity. So they know that fuel,
it's a necessity.
They know that it's a fear tactic too, right? It's a fear tactic. We're like, oh yeah, this just happened, so let's go ahead and tax you more on oil. It's crazy. It's crazy to see this come into actually reality because I've been preaching about this for the past 2 years. And when people see it, I'm not amazed with anything that happened. I'm just like, I told you guys, I told you so. But one thing I do want to add to that too, Travis, is that it was really nice the way you handled this. So, and I'm not sure if you want to speak into this, but I jumped into a space with you on what is it, ETH Shiba.
Oh yeah.
Whole entire thing, man. My guy Travis came in there, fired it up. He said, "Your chart looks like the devil's dick."
I need to get a voice clip of that.
Dude, he came in with such a professional manner, came in, like, literally, like, put this guy on the spot. And I was like, damn, man, this guy, Travis came in with the heat, but it was with his best intentions. And, I want to go ahead and add there, and I don't want to put him like that. But,
Yeah.
It's a podcast. It's the way we're going to be honest. But he did come in there and he realized, you know what, guys, like, I apologize for, being a little bit like that. So I didn't think he did anything wrong. I don't even think he needed to do that apology, to be honest, because with what's going on with the project, from what I was hearing, it was looking very sketchy, and I understand the frustration. So, you know how I heard you talk about, regulation. That's one of the biggest topics too, regulation. You did nothing but fire, man. You like literally like put this person on blast, but with actual facts and with real reason and intention. And I like the way you handled that, man. Can you go ahead and talk about it if you want? I know
Absolutely.
you're invested in the project, and I'm just here and there, but just seeing this, I'm not in the project, but just seeing this keeps me aware of what's going on in the community. So I have to kind of be aware of what's going on, regardless whether I'm invested or not. So I kind of want you to, tap in because you are involved in the project and your thoughts and your views. And with your tweets that I just recently saw a few days ago, it seems like things are working on. But can you go ahead and tap into all of that situation and what happened?
Absolutely. Well, as you can tell, when I came into the space, the moment that they allowed me to speak, the first thing that I did was go ahead and pin a screenshot of liquidity being removed, and I did that simply to hold them accountable to what it was that they were saying. And again, the devil's dick comment, I don't know how they just came out like
And crypto terms.
it just came out. But,
It's all right.
But I didn't appreciate the way that they were so cavalier about what happened, knowing that people had sunk so much money into it. Now, I myself approached it with a little bit of trepidation. So the amount I invested was, minuscule. We're talking, I know this is relative, but we're talking about, just $100 or $200 just to kind of see, hey, I want to support the project because I, one, am part of the Shiba Inu army, and I want to support a new project.
Yeah.
And so, of course, I was one of the few that looked at it not from the aspect of becoming a millionaire, but just from the aspect of wanting to help people out. And in the space yesterday, I saw so many people in there, and I just wanted to do my best to help represent the community and to kind of address some of the concerns from the community and hold people accountable. That's another word I really want to talk about, because a lot of people in the space lack accountability. You've got a lot of people that live behind avatars and online pseudonyms and names,
Yep.
and refuse to step to the forefront. And it's because of things like this. Well, let me say it allows things like this to be able to be done, because there's no recourse that someone has there's no recourse against someone who's anonymous. But I also let them know that what they're doing is kind of expediting the process of heavy-handed regulation, because it's going to be incidences such as that that are going to be used as an excuse to regulate and to over-regulate.
Yeah.
And people like to use fear in order to strip people of rights.
Yep.
And it's an easy way to do it, because you can usher in regulation and strip rights and do it with people cheering.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know what I mean? If it's done correctly. And so that's kind of all I wanted to highlight. Of course, we woke up this morning and it seems as though they're doing what they can do to make amends. And I even let them know last night, hey, I really appreciated you guys stepping out in front of this and being willing to address it as opposed to, running away from it. So that's one
Yeah.
thing I can say, but whether or not people will be made whole on their investment, to be seen. So we'll just have to see how that shakes out. I really hope that everyone is made whole because again, I don't like to see people mistreated. Nobody wants to see anyone lose money, but it's a perfect example of two things. It's a perfect example of people allowing greed to make them easy targets and easy victims of bad actors in the space. And that's not saying that Shib was a bad actor. It's just saying that that's what makes it easy to do.
Yeah.
And the second thing is never invest without doing research and understanding what you can afford to lose.
There you go.
Exactly. And what better way to kind of cap off this podcast? John, is there anything else you would like to get out in the last couple minutes we have?
Yeah, I have a lot, man.
All right. Well, we are at an hour right now. We do like 10 minutes over. I don't mind. Go ahead.
So one thing I do want to kind of add to that, and like I don't want to bash anybody or anybody's project, but I think you handled that very well, man. And I think one of the biggest things is, quickly people started pointing fingers. Who do they go pointing fingers at? Dell Crypto. No, he's not wrong. Whatever the cases happen with any other projects, we're accountable for our own projects that we invest in. So I don't think anybody has a right to come in here and point fingers at influencers. I always say watch them as entertainment purposes, do your own research, and regardless of it, yes, people get paid money on the back end. I'm sorry to break it to all of you guys. Your damn YouTuber people that you guys watch and influencers, they get paid on the back end to promote projects.
Yep.
We get offers every day,
that we consider taking too. We're going to be transparent.
We might decline, so and what we do is
the one thing before you continue, John, I know you're probably going to say this in like 2 seconds, but we will never take a project that we don't like. Like we've denied way more projects than we've accepted, obviously, because we haven't had many on the channel besides MetaFest and another NFT project where we've been working on for a while, the Unknown Species. Besides those two, really, we haven't really been paid to promote any project. And I mean, even now, we're just working with MetaFest. It's a tight partnership,
And we're KYC.
We're 100% like we will never shill a project that we don't believe in and haven't put in thorough research into. So just want to preface that.
Be wrong. Even then,
and if we're wrong, you're still accountable. I'm sorry to say it's your fault. We all miss things. That's why we all tell you to do your own research. We miss things. Some things can be missed easily. We're humans. We make mistakes. We got to move on. Do your own research. Don't rely on us. Don't rely on BitBoy. Don't rely on Travis, John, whoever. Rely on yourself, and that's how you're going to be successful.
Yeah. And one of the biggest things too is like even with the partnership that we got with Travis, just to let everybody know, we are KYC'd. We KYC'd both each other. He has our information, and we do anything shady, we have his information. So that's why when we work with Travis and when we work with companies, we make sure they're KYC'd. So that way, if anything does happen, we know how to take legal action.
And it's even under contract.
Yeah, and it's under contract. So everything that we do is a legal business structure. And I think that goes back to what Travis talked about, regulation. It looks like they probably did this on purpose to come in with the fear and be like, I told you guys, told you so, let's go ahead and do the rules now. So I think that's what they did, because all I see is scams. Crypto scam, this scam. So now they're going to be like regulation, come in, people are going to be like, yeah, regulation, no more scammers.
And scams.
Taken away. So it goes back to it. One thing I also want to go ahead and add on to that, Travis, I think you did really well the way you handled that. Like I said, I don't want to bash any project, but later down the line after you left, someone asked a question like, "Hey man, like what were the previous projects you guys worked on?" And they were like really hesitant about it. For me as an outside viewer, I don't know why you would be hesitant to say, like the other guy was asking, he's like, look, man, like, dude, the people that he gathered together put in 30 grand. So of course, if he's coming in as a representative saying this, but then it goes back to do your own research. So you can't blame anybody. He wasn't blaming anybody, but he was more asking like,
No, that
hey,
is a valid question though.
what projects have you guys worked on?
That's like asking me for your resume, dude.
Exactly.
Like,
So this guy was hesitant. He danced around the question, never answered it, and the guy's like, you know
yeah,
what, man? I'm gonna take my own answer. This is full of it, and if you guys come through with it, you guys come through with it. But this guy alone, and I heard a lot of people were putting in a lot of money. I mean, this project was massively.
Yeah.
This guy alone brought his own people to put in 30 grand altogether. Other people were putting in 5 grand, 7 grand, 10 grand to be done into seconds. And I heard a lot of things with after Dell Crypto, started up a space, and it seems like there's something with the smart contract that actually caused it.
Right.
Whatever the case is, though, like I think for me, from an outside perspective, not you not telling us the projects that you previously worked on kind of second guesses my opinion. And I kind of want to tell you, like, what do you think about that, Travis? Like the fact that they didn't want to come through after asking the question. They already seem kind of like the ones in fault. I notice a new scam too, that a lot of these projects that scam, they'll come in, host the spaces to make you feel comfortable, and then dip later down the line. So for me, I don't feel like a space was really like so much. Like they'll probably do that just to get get people to calm down. But
well, what better way to ease a scam than to just have everyone in one place and address the issue? So it's like, that's also, but yeah. I think Travis, you asked Travis what his thoughts were on that.
Yeah, I would definitely like to talk about like this whole scam thing on another podcast, because there's a lot of scams in this crypto space that are getting really good.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
just with that being said, like, what are your thoughts? Like, I'm not sure if you heard that, but someone asked him the question, like, what are the previous projects you worked on? And he's like, yeah, we worked on a few. What are they? And he was hesitant to answer. He never answered it. He literally danced around the whole question, never answered it. The guy was pissed. He's like, I took my response. I'm taking it is what it is. I lost 30 grand. If you guys come through, that's cool. But I took my own answer because he couldn't answer it himself.
Right.
What do you think about that, and how do you view it?
Well, I'm a big proponent of transparency. So the easiest thing to do is to let people know who you are. And there are ways that without fully doxing yourself. I don't think people really understand what it means to actually dox yourself. When you dox yourself publicly, people know where you live, where your kids go to school, and people think that you've run off with millions of dollars if something goes wrong. Like doxing yourself, it's taken on a whole different meaning. But I said that to say you can be transparent without doing that. Even doing something as small as doing your launch through a third party like PinkSale. PinkSale does KYCs on all of the projects that launch from their platform. So you know that if you're buying something from PinkSale, that it's legit because it's been through a vetting process, the contract's been audited, and the parties involved have doxed themselves with PinkSale or done at least a KYC that's been verified. So that's one way to kind of do your own research in a project. And another thing is to kind of, again, not let greed make you throw common sense out the window. I know it looks great to get in on something first and to maybe go up 10,000%. That's great. But instead, why not wait a day or two for the project to retrace and get in on the dip? Exactly, because once it shoots up, people are going to sell off, and you can get in on a dip. You definitely won't make as much, but it's a great way for you to kind of hedge your risk if you're not playing with a lot of money. Now, if you're playing with a few $1 million and you don't care, you might not care about losing 10 grand. You might not care about losing $1,000 the same way that somebody that with $2,000 in their savings account loses 1,000 and now their life is in shambles. You see what I mean? So a lot of it has to do with personal responsibility, but again, I'm a big proponent of transparency, and I do think that's one thing that is going to be part of regulation moving forward.
Yeah, and I think that's a great place to kind of cap off this podcast for sure. Again, thank you, Travis, so much for your time coming out here, providing us with all the wisdom that was provided in this podcast between the three of us even. But again, thank you for everything you've done and making MetaFest a possibility for everyone, not even for you and us, for everybody to be a part of. And I think it's a very valuable opportunity for people to go and learn about the crypto space, because there are a lot of big names that know a lot that will be there. So, I'd like to get some closing statements from the both of you, and then we'll cap it off there. John or Travis, whoever wants to start.
First, yeah.
All right, just wanted to say thank you guys for having me. Thank you for everything you do and have done for the show. Thank you for participating. I'm looking forward to working with you guys a lot more moving forward. Like I said, we're having another show this year. So if you miss MetaFest, shame on you, but don't forget to come to the next one.
There you go.
Yeah,
Sean?
guys. So I just want to say thank you for everybody who has been tuning in. Like you said, we're going to be having a lot exclusive guests where you guys can go ahead and tap in, get information, just like Travis himself. So we're going to be making sure we get a lot of people who are knowledgeable, not only in their own personal businesses with experience, but as well in the crypto side. And we're just going to go ahead and go back and forth with this. Definitely go ahead and make sure to, join MetaFest. If you guys missed out this time, sucks. Oh, well, there's a second opportunity though. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot in the future. So just go ahead and stay tapped in, follow Travis on his Twitter. He's going to go, can you go ahead and tell him what your Twitter is?
Absolutely. Twitter.com/MetaFest22. Or if you're already on Twitter, it's @MetaFest22.
There you go. And then we're going to put everything down in the descriptions. And then one last thing before I turn it over to Kyle. Like I said, I'm grateful for every one of you guys. Really appreciate it. We are going to be the #1 crypto channel. I guarantee this. I'm already calling
We're striving for it.
We're going for it. We're going to be second to best right there with BitBoy. So possibly maybe podcast with BitBoys in the future is going to be coming. But
we do have connections.
Everybody, follow our Twitter. Follow me as Zoltaev. Stay in touch with Lux Fiat with 2 T's at the end. And stay tapped in. I'm going to go ahead and switch it over to Kyle because I talk too much. So
You're fine, dude. Yeah, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, subscribe, like, comment down below, as well as turn on that notification bell. Turn it to all so you get the notifications. Like I said, even John and I don't get our own notifications, and so I turn those to all, and I've been getting them all. So yeah, go ahead and do that. This has been the first episode of the Moon Boys podcast, and remember, break the barrier.